Hello, and now we return to a round of sport news with Malcolm.
Football. New Enfield 1893 manager Luke Giddings is pleased with the way that his squad is shaping up as he looks to get the club challenging towards the top of the Essex Senior League next season. Giddings was appointed as the E's boss in May following the exit of Gordon Boateng at the end of a disappointing campaign which saw the club have to settle for a mid-table finish, and he's confident that he'll be able to improve their fortunes. He said, by the middle of July I expect to have 22 or 23 people signed up, which will basically give us 2 players for each position. Most of the squad has already been finalised, and I'm just looking for the final few pieces in the jigsaw. Enfield 1893 started off their pre-season programme at Hadley last Saturday at 3 p.m. In rugby union, Conrad Edgar has added to the growing number of players at Enfield Ignatians to have secured international honours by being drafted into the Barbados squad for the Caribbean Under-19 Rugby Championship. Just weeks after Tan Mbono made his full debut for Nigeria, Edgar, who can play either in the pack or at centre, was selected for the matches against Mexico on Monday and hosts Trinidad and Tobago today. Harold Pritchard, Ignatians youth chairman, said, "It's great Conrad has been able to follow an increasing trend at the club by putting himself in line for representative honours."
Swimming. Enfield swimmer Mia Hawkes insisted that it was all about the team, despite claiming 2 medals of her own at the Balfour Beatty London Youth Games on Saturday. The 14-year-old touched home in 32.91 seconds for bronze in the 50-metre backstroke, before going on to claim gold in the 4x50-metre freestyle relay in 1.56.23 minutes. Those, coupled with Lena Sula's 50-metre freestyle gold, helped Enfield girls to 3rd in the overall swimming standings at Crystal Palace, which was 1 place worse off than last year. However, Hawkes, an Enfield swim squad member, admits she was delighted with her own performance, even though that team victory is still proving elusive.
This is athletics. The senior men's team at Enfield and Haringey Athletic Club continued their excellent season in the Premier Division of the British Athletics League by finishing 3rd in the latest meeting in Sheffield on Saturday. Having come 4th in both of the opening 2 matches, the squad went one better this time around to strengthen their grip on 3rd place in the table with just 1 meeting remaining.
And cricket. Winchmore Hill showed the form which took them to the Middlesex County Cricket League title last year, as they produced their best display of the season to win by 52 runs at leaders Ealing on Saturday. Hill have struggled to find the consistency which saw them crowned champions 12 months ago, but they put that right by dominating virtually from start to finish against a side who had won 6 of their previous 8 matches. There was also disappointment for Edmonton as they suffered a 6-wicket defeat at North London to remain firmly rooted to the foot of the table, being dismissed for 115 before seeing their hosts reach 116 for 4. Winchmore Hill go to Stanmore on Saturday, while Southgate make the trip to Shepherd's Bush. Enfield visit Wembley and Edmonton are at Kenton.
And now a couple of letters about the level crossing between Enfield Town Station and Bush Hill Park. The first is from Stephen Knowles of Woodfield Close, Enfield. Following my 2 letters to the advertiser in May and June concerning the Lincoln Road level crossing, the next thing I read was that it had been decided to close the crossing permanently in the advertiser July the 3rd. We'd been told previously that the crossing would be temporarily opened to allow Enfield Council to monitor the traffic flow through it. Of course, no such thing has happened. I fully agree that it's time to call an end to all these ridiculous letters from councillors and to meet head-on with the real culprits of all of this, Network Rail. They have consulted no one and have done exactly as they please throughout all this. I urge everybody to turn up for this meeting, as and when it's arranged, and to give these people a roasting. And B. Beeston of Abbey Road, Bushhill Park, writes, has Network Rail the power to permanently close the Lincoln Road level crossing? Actually, I think it has. Lincoln Road predates the railway, which was then built across it onto Enfield town. And as the road is older than the railway, it probably has right of way. What do the experts say?
Oh, okay. And now some important information about the home library service. If mobility, disability or caring responsibilities make it difficult for you to visit the library, then we can bring the library to you. There are no charges at all for this service. Love reading? You can lose yourself in a book. Choose the kind of books you enjoy and we will deliver them. There are many titles available in large or small print, on tape or CD. There are books in different languages too. You can request any title you want, from the latest bestseller to something you read years ago. Please ask. Enjoy a good film? There's a wide choice of DVDs. Just tell us what you like. Like listening to music? There's music available on CD to suit every taste. Let us know what you prefer. Information. Library staff can help you find the information you need. Just ask or visit the council website www.enfield.gov.uk. Please get in touch if you would like to sign up for this free service. Library staff will then contact you to find out what you enjoy and arrange a regular delivery to your home. There is no charge. Either fill in a form or contact Gemma Panani, the outreach officer. Telephone 0208 379 2732 or mobile 07507 659914. We also deliver library collections to sheltered housing and residential homes.
An Enfield Academy group has taken over an old university campus site for a new school. The Queensway campus in Ponders End was previously used by Middlesex University, but had remained derelict since 2008 until Heron Hall Academy purchased the site. Heron Hall will become the first secondary academy to be opened by Cuckoo Hall Academies Trust, but will have to wait until 2015 before moving to the restored site in Ponders End. About 90 Year 7 pupils will be joining the academy in September, when it will take up its temporary home at Cuckoo Hall campus, Nightingale Road, Enfield. Phil Souter, chairman of the governing body of Heron Hall Academy, explained, "We're thrilled that the long process of finalising a permanent home for Heron Hall has now reached its natural conclusion, particularly as a recent survey showed that 96% of nearly 700 local residents who participated responded in favour of us re-establishing an educational establishment on this illustrious and significant site. Once finished, the site will have up to 1,700 pupils, with over 100 teaching staff and sports facilities."
Communities in 6 wards have received funding from Enfield Council's Residents Priority Fund for improved cleaning in streets and community areas. The project was proposed by residents and ward councillors in the Ponders End, Jubilee, Enfield Highway, Turkey Street, Enfield Lock and Southbury wards, and will provide extra street cleaning to tackle litter blight in these communities. Despite a weekly clean, residents living in the affected wards raised concerns over littering and fly tipping in previous consultations. The tidy teams will focus on these areas that suffer most from littering, including parks, shopping areas near schools and litter hotspots, to make streets even cleaner than before. Enfield Council's Cabinet Member for Environment, Councillor Chris Bond, said, We're delighted that residents are backing Enfield Council's Cleaner Streets campaign and helping find a solution to the problem of littering and fly tipping in their communities. Find out more about Cleaner Streets on www.enfield.gov.uk/Cleaner Streets, all one word.
An Edmonton school has won the right to extend its buildings to reduce overcrowding, but one councillor said he still has doubts about the project. Edmonton County School in Little Berry Street will expand its design technology block to a 3-storey building at the back of the secondary school. Enfield Borough Council's planning committee passed the plans, which will help the school as it expands into a 2-form entry primary school. Councillor Lee Chamberlain, who represents Bush Hill, believes there are still problems with the existing plans. He said the original plan was flawed, and I remain deeply concerned about the overdevelopment of the site, in particular the new primary school. However, the relatively small extension should reduce overcrowding a bit, so it's yet another change to make the best of a bad job. Personally, I think they should rethink the whole scheme.
The Enfield Choral Society will celebrate its 75th anniversary this weekend with an ambitious performance of Verdi's Requiem. The society began in 1937 when Vincent Evans formed the Young People's Society of Christ Church, Enfield. The aim was to provide a means of entertainment for young people aged 16 and over from all religious backgrounds. The society consisted of a choral section, a dramatic section, an orchestral section, and a social section. And the Enfield Choral Society is the sole section that still remains. Mark Sproson is the music director and first became involved with the choir 9 years ago. In that time, it has expanded its number from around 65 to almost 90. The concert takes place this Saturday at Enfield County School in Hollywalk, Enfield Town, and begins at 7:30. Tickets can be bought for £13 with £11 concession by calling 07856 793 434 or by emailing tickets@enfieldchoralsociety.org.uk. Tickets will also be available on the door for £14 with a £12 concession, and seating is limited.
Volunteers have pulled together to clear a polluted river in Enfield. The helpers, along with organisers Friends of Albany Park and the Outdoor Pursuit Scheme, TOPS, joined forces to purge Turkey Brook of pollution and rubbish. The project also had the backing of National Waterways charity Thames 21, which works with communities to improve their water systems. Enfield Borough Council provided the tools for volunteers to pull the rubbish out of the river. Councillor Chris Bond, Enfield Council's Cabinet Member for Environment, said, "This kind of community spirit, where people get together to clean up our green spaces and waterways, is just what we want to see in Enfield. I thoroughly support this fantastic effort by the Friends of Albany Park and would urge other groups to follow this wonderful example." Gina Needs, chairman of Friends of Albany Park, said the group was disgusted at the way the area had been left covered in rubbish. She said, "Although Turkey Brook has a vast range of wildlife living in and around it, we were disgusted to see that many people are using this beautiful waterway as a dumping ground. We decided to do something about it, and the Friends of Albany Park, working together with TOPS and local volunteers, got together to clear the brook of rubbish. I can't praise Thames 21 staff enough with all the training and support we've had from them for testing and monitoring the water quality, and also for empowering residents like myself to be able to carry out these clean-ups ourselves."
Students will be given their first taste of working life through an opportunities programme. Sixth form students at Oasis Academy Enfield in Mollison Avenue will be able to gain work experience in the local community as part of the school's new scheme Oasis Plus. Enfield Learning and Skills for Work Service will arrange for the first group of 25 pupils to spend an afternoon each week for a term on placement with a local employer. These will include companies such as John Lewis, Sony and Swift, which are based alongside the school in Innova Park, or businesses located near the academy in Ponders End. Thought to be the first programme of its kind, Oasis Plus will also launch its second scheme in the autumn, teaming up with Barnet and Southgate College to give 50 students opportunities on start-up courses in areas such as IT, engineering, design, hospitality and leisure. In addition, the Academy has formed a partnership with Youth Action Volunteering Enfield to drive young people into volunteering for not-for-profit or non-profit organisations, which will aim to give students the edge when applying for jobs or university places. Eden Warrington, Operations Manager at John Lewis Innova Park Combined Service Building, said, "We take our role as an active member of a community seriously, and our community strategy is focused on enhancing transferable skills to create lasting change. We are delighted to work collaboratively with local community groups and businesses to help deliver this programme and provide work experience opportunities for promising students." Maxine Reid, Head of Learning at Enfield Learning and Skills for Work Service, said, "This is a genuinely exciting innovation, and the response of local employers has been stunning, with companies of all sizes and from various sectors signing up to the programme. With the Academy's unique location on a science and business park, the students will be able to walk straight from the classroom to the office or workshop. The experience they gain will prove invaluable. We are thrilled to be working with Oasis Academy Enfield on the design and delivery of this aspect of the Oasis Plus programme."
Enfield's new mayor, Councillor Chowdhury Anwar, was appointed last month. He's been a ward councillor for the past 9 years and actively involved in the local community life for over 30 years. He's acted as chairman for a raft of voluntary organisations, including the Enfield Bangladesh Welfare Association, North London Asian Care, Enfield Voluntary Action and the Ponders End Development Trust. Chowdhury said, "I've had 35 years of experience in the voluntary sector, and I think this has given me the skills to be a good mayor. Since I arrived in Enfield, the borough has become much more multicultural, and I want to do more to bring Enfield's different cultures and generations together, as well as improve the level of political debate in the council chamber." Councillor Ingrid Cranfield is now the Deputy Mayor of Enfield for 2013-14, taking over the role from Councillor Anwar.
For those of you who enjoy Shakespeare, The Bard on the Lawn. As the sun goes down and the stars come out over Waterloo Park, watch Shakespeare's most magical of plays, A Midsummer Night's Dream, staged on the Tea Lawn at Lauderdale House. Shooting Stars Theatre is known for setting the Bard's best-loved comedies and classic texts in a modern context, and will be offering a fresh and vibrant take on this old favourite, performed with the company's customary boundless energy. This will be on at Lauderdale House, Waterloo Park, Highgate Hill, on July the 11th and August the 13th, the 14th, the 15th, the 16th and the 18th at 7 p.m. For further details, please call 0208 348 8716 or email, all one word, lauderdalehouse.org.uk.
This is a letter from D. Portingale of Scotland Green Road, Enfield. I quite agree with Mrs. Lamb's comments regarding self-check-ins at Chase Farm Hospital. Hospital reception needs personal touch, which was the opinion in the copy of the newspaper June the 26th. I too had the same dilemma on a recent check-up visit. Technology has gone too far. We do not all own computers, So to be confronted with a screen full of hieroglyphics is a bit daunting, especially for the elderly, of which I am one. Such a waste of a nurse's time too, having to operate the machine for outpatients when their service may be urgently needed elsewhere. It also makes the next visit to the hospital a thing to be dreaded. Oh dear.
Enfield Council has set out a number of proposals aimed at dealing with the issue of blacklisting in the construction industry. In a report that went before the Council on July the 10th, Andrew Stafford, Cabinet Member for Finance, recommended the Council adopts 4 measures aimed at tackling the practice by which union members, stewards or safety representatives on previous building projects are denied work. Mr Stafford's report condemned the practice of blacklisting, which Trade Union Unite alleges is still prevalent within the construction industry. It aims to support the national trade union campaign against blacklisting by not allowing tenders from companies who subscribe to the use of unlawful construction industry blacklists from the date of this Cabinet decision. The Council's Finance Chief also proposes an amendment to the authority's procurement documentation for future construction projects by requesting bidders confirm that they do not consult a blacklist and refuse to sign contracts with companies that do. Finally, the report recommends encouraging other publicly funded organisations to adopt the same measures. The blacklisting scandal was exposed in 2009 after a raid on the offices of the Consulting Association, a clandestine company that operated a blacklist on behalf of more than 40 major construction firms. Last month, members of Trade Union Unite met councillors at the Civic Centre in Silver Street, Enfield, to raise awareness of the issue. Mr Stafford said, "We unequivocally support the Unite campaign and we don't believe a blacklist of this nature should exist in this day and age. No one should be on a list and unable to find work because of union activity or for raising health and safety issues. The Council simply does not want any contact with a contractor which has been known to consult the blacklist. In the meantime, we are keen to work with the construction industry and Unite to find a workable solution to this issue." And that article was written before the council meeting, so don't know whether that was passed or not.
Young people in Edmonton now have the youth centre of their dreams. It's a superb custom-built facility designed by local young people for 13 to 19-year-olds to enjoy spending leisure time at activities together. It's the Unity Hub at Craig Park in Edmonton N18. Councillor Bambos Charalambos, Enfield Council's Cabinet Member for Culture, Leisure and Youth, said, "I'm so proud of the young people who've worked so hard to develop this centre. It's now over 3 years since they won £3.5 million from the government's My Place Fund in 2009 to develop it. Encouraged and supported by the Council, they plan not only a world-class youth facility, but also a place for the local community."
Schoolgirls baked homemade treats before throwing a tea party for care home residents. 12 pupils from St Anne's Catholic High School for Girls in London Road, Enfield, treated people at Azalea Court Care Home in Abbey Road to cakes, biscuits and scones. The students chatted with their guests whilst serving them their afternoon tea. Year 9 pupil Nena Nwabusi said, "At Azalea Court, the people I met were amazing. I found them so strong. Some were on wheelchairs, Zimmer frames, and some could barely talk, but they all kept a smile on their faces."
Enfield Council has joined a growing number of councils signing up to the shelter campaign to get tough with rogue landlords. Councillor Amit O'Connor, Enfield Council's Cabinet Member for Housing, said Enfield Council supports Shelter's campaign to expose the appalling practices of rogue landlords who fail to maintain their properties and yet are prepared to let them at vastly inflated rents to people who are desperate for a home. This is a scourge which condemns some private sector tenants to live in often damp and dangerous conditions. Driven by greed and taking advantage of the housing crisis, these landlords bring the private rented sector into disrepute. Shelter's campaign shines a light on a serious matter, and Enfield Council is pleased to actively support it, and I hope they do.
An expectant mum fears changes to provision at council-run children's centres aimed at getting poorer parents into work may mean she has to quit her job. Joanne Nass, 32, of Pentridge Avenue, Enfield, says that government plans to expand the number of early years places at children's centres run by local authorities at the expense of those for babies may mean she will not be able to afford to return to work after giving birth to her second child. Enfield Council anticipates that up to 600 additional places will be created for 2-, 3- and 4-year-olds. That is in response to government plans to expand the number of free early years places for kids who are entitled to free school meals or have special needs. But the changes, scheduled to come into force in September, mean that the council will no longer provide any new places for under 2s at any of its children's centres. Mrs. Nass, whose 2-year-old son Max attends the Sure Start Carterhatch Children's Centre in Autumn Close, Enfield, currently pays £50 a day for Max's care. She is expecting a second child in October. She told the advertiser, "While my son's place is not under threat, I am worried I will not be able to pay for care for my newborn, as the cheapest private alternative is £57 and the under 2s room is now £48. It's £180 a month minimum extra, which I fear I will not be able to afford. I will have to stay at home and care for my kids as I simply cannot afford private childcare." And lots of other parents are in the same situation. A council spokesman said, meeting the government's target of placing 1,316 disadvantaged 2-year-olds in childcare in areas of a borough where there is higher levels of deprivation prevents the challenge.
More than 50 original artworks crafted by people with learning disabilities have been on show in the gallery at the Dugdale Centre this week. Paintings and wall hangings, ceramics, textile designs, bags and trinkets are on show, and many pieces are for sale. The artists all attend Enfield Council's new Options Centre on the Claverings Estate in Edmonton. There, people are supported to learn a variety of life skills and enjoy taking part in a range of activities leading to increased confidence and self-esteem. Councillor Don McGowan, Enfield Council's Cabinet Member for Adult Services, Care and Health, said, "Under the expert guidance of visiting art therapists, people attending New Options have the opportunity to learn new skills and enjoy exploring their own creativity. This exhibition is a celebration of their hard work, ambition and achievement, and I congratulate everyone involved in the project."
Demolition makes way for Angelic Project. Crushers and diggers moved on to the site of the Highmead Estate in the Angel Edmonton area to complete the demolition of the 50-year-old estate and accompanying parade of shops and masonettes. This demolition kickstarts the regeneration of the area with a new estate which will be complete in the summer of 2015. The 11-storey tower block is being replaced with new affordable housing, shops, community building and a health centre in one of the most deprived areas of the borough. There will be a new retail space fronting 4th Street with permission for shops, cafes, restaurants and a bar, public house and a new community centre plus a building of a medical centre.
We have reached the end of our programme for this week. Thank you for listening. So from the team of Angela, Elizabeth, Malcolm, Francis, Audrey in the background and Dave on the controls, it's
Goodbye.